Hi everyone, it's December 31st and it's the last day of the year of 2018. Happy New Year to everybody. I wanted to show you how I clean my paintings before I put polyacrylic on them. There are several different methods. Some artists use cornstarch. Some use other types of powder, which I can't recall right now, the other types. I have had really good luck, never had any problems with this method that I'm using. And it is very simple. I have 2 bowls of clean water, lukewarm water, 2 cloths that are the microfiber. They have no lint, and Dawn dish soap. You know, Dawn dish soap is wonderful for cutting oil, grease, and this is what I use, the blue Dawn. And I'm just going to put a couple of drops in one of the bowls. This bowl will be our rinsing water. This bowl has the soap in it. So I'm going to put this cloth in here, stir it around a little bit. And this painting was done a couple weeks back, so it's had a couple of weeks to cure. And even though your acrylic paints are dry to the touch, your fluid art takes a little bit longer depending on the humidity. This had a lot of paint on it, and it probably took several days from what I remember to dry. Plus, it was during the time we had a rainy spell. So took several days to dry, and it's been curing for 2 weeks. And that is probably the magic in all of it. Your paint needs to cure before you put any type of top finish on it. And I've put this cloth in the water that has the Dawn dish soap, and what I'm going to do is just gently wipe over it, same direction, really makes those colors pop, doesn't it? It's pretty. And we'll wipe the sides. This particular painting, I painted each side a coordinating color. I finished it off like that just to do something a little bit different. So I'm putting the cloth back into the water that has the Dawn dish soap in it again. Squeezing it out so your cloth is damp. It's not wringing wet, it's damp. And this time, I'm going to go in the opposite direction. This video I'm going to upload to YouTube. That way it will be there in the library if you need to refresh your memory. But this is very simple, and I've never had any problems with the polyacrylic finish cracking. No silicone has popped through. So You know, once you find a system that works for you, use it. And, you know, you'll be satisfied with the results each time. Now, this is another dry cloth. I've not used it for anything. I'm going to dip it into the clean water. This doesn't have anything in it at all. I once saw an artist that used rubbing alcohol to dissipate the silicone in their artwork, and they said the only problem they had with that was sometimes the rubbing alcohol would pick up the color, the pigments out of the paint, and I thought, well, that's not going to be any fun. You know, you've worked on this painting and you have it the way you want it, and you've decided to put your varnish on top of it, and now the color is being taken off. But what I'm doing here is just kind of rinsing the painting off with clean water, and I like to let this, you see it does come off a little bit. Don't rub real hard, just gently wipe it down. It doesn't need a good scrubbing. Generally, these need to dry about 24 hours. And then it will be ready for your finished coat. Let's see. This one, I'm going to go this way. It's going to be really pretty with an acrylic shine to it. And there you have it. This will be put into the drying room, which is our spare bedroom that I have my supplies in. And it will stay there until I'm ready to put a finished coat of acrylic on it. This is the product that I use for sealing. I like the gloss. I've had really good luck with it. I usually put anywhere between 2 and 4 coats of the polyacrylic on it. And I have several of the paintings lined up that I'm ready to do. I like to do several of them at the same time. This normally dries to the touch in about an hour, and it says you can recoat after an hour. I like to give it 2 hours because being in Florida, it's very humid here, anywhere along the Gulf Coast. So this is the product that I use, and the paintbrush, I like to use, this is a folk art chip brush. It's a synthetic, and I love the feel of it. It's very soft. It gets down in the little nooks and crannies. But one thing I have found that usually I can put my brushes in a plastic baggie and they'll stay moist until I'm ready to use it again. Well, I did that with this brush and a couple of the other ones that are made the same way, and it started rusting. So with this brush, I'm going to have to clean it out each time, which is no big deal, because I really love the feel of the bristles, and I feel like that it lays the paint down really nice, and there's not a lot of brush strokes, and as it dries, the brush strokes level themselves out. Now when I do this, I will start and go one direction for the first coat. Always go one direction over your whole painting. all the way. Then for your second coat, you can go the other direction. And it doesn't matter if you go horizontal first and vertical second. It does not matter. But you do want a couple of coats, one going one direction and then the other going the other direction. And you can see, if you're in good lighting, you'll be able to see where you've covered and where you haven't covered. And then the next time, let's say 3 coats usually is a good number. The 3 coats start at the top and go down. But it is kind of a good rule of thumb that when you're putting your acrylic finish on top is to look at your painting. How is it going to be hung? And evidently this one's going to be hung that way. So the last coat that I put on, I'm going to want it to go in an up and down direction. Okay? So keep that in mind. But other than that, it's real simple, and it's amazing how your colors, they'll pop and come alive. And don't forget to put your signature on before you do your polyacrylic or any of your other coatings. A lot of the fluid art, I have started doing my signature on the side, so that way they can decide how they want the painting to be hung. Now this is obvious, but the ones that have no design in them, you know, you can turn it this way or that way. You know, it's just real difficult. So I've started signing my name on the sides and the back so they can decide. And usually I'll have, this one doesn't have hangers on it yet, a wire hanger, but usually I will do one across and then one the other direction, so they all have a choice. But thanks for watching, and I really appreciate everybody. Hope we have a fantastic year coming up, 2019. It's wow, to be able to be alive and be on a journey in 2019. You know, when I was young, I was like, that sounds so old, 2020, you know, that's just so far in the future. Watching Jetsons and thinking, you know, the cartoon Jetsons, and thinking, are we going to be able to do that? Are we going to be able to fly around instead of driving cars? And, you know, looking at people and talking on the phone to them, the computer. Well, we're almost there in one respect. But again, Happy New Year, and I'll see y'all tomorrow for Crafty Tuesday. I've not decided what we're going to do yet. I've been doing research for the last couple days. Haven't found anything really that has said this is it. So, but I do want to do something. It'll be the first show of the year, and we're going to kick it off wonderfully that way. Bye. Hugs to everybody.